Welcome to another edition of Mississippi Stories. I am your host, Marshall Ramsey. I'm editor at large and editorial cartoonist. And I tell you what, we have a great guest today, somebody who is following in some pretty big footsteps or cleats or whatever golf shoes, I guess, of the great Tiger Woods, who's becoming a trailblazer in his own right. He's from here in Jackson, Mississippi. He's out. He is now a student at the College of William and Mary, where he is getting his master's in public policy at the Thomas Jefferson School of Public Policy. And he also was named the Scholar Athlete of the Year. He's got several other honors. I don't want to steal too much of his thunder as well, but I'd like to welcome Ethan Mangum with us. Ethan, man, I tell you what, you have had a great year so far, and it's just getting better, isn't it?
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me.
Oh, my pleasure. I found out you were going to be in town, and I'm just glad we get this opportunity to have a chat. And you were actually just coming off the golf course right now. And what were you doing today on the golf course?
So today, I have the pleasure of hosting a junior clinic at the Pete Brown Golf Facility for the First Tee of Central Mississippi.
Awesome. Awesome. You know, you obviously grew up. How old were you when you first started playing golf?
I was 2 years old.
What? Okay. Now that's seriously Tiger Woods territory right there. So do you even have any memories of when you first started playing?
I do vividly, actually.
Cool.
My dad bought me a pair of plastic clubs and like wiffle balls, and he used to take me to the local park, and I used to hit the little plastic clubs and plastic wiffle balls over the swing set.
Oh, really? So you had a good swing even at 2, huh?
Yes, sir.
Oh, that's awesome. So obviously, and your dad must have really loved to play golf if he got you playing at that early of an age.
Oh, most definitely.
So would you say on a scale of 1 to Earl Woods, where was your dad on that scale?
I have no idea. I haven't had the pleasure of speaking with Tiger about his late father or meeting Earl, but I know my dad has a very great golf mind. And he knows as much as anybody else about the golf swing and the golf mentality. And so I would definitely say my dad he would be up there, but I don't think I could compare him and Mr. Earl.
You get to play with your dad often?
I did when I was younger,
Yeah.
but not much recently since I've been in college.
Yeah, I'm about to say you're kind of busy these days between tournaments and school. And I mean, just looking at all your academic achievements as well. And I think you just touched on something about your dad having a great golf mind. I don't think most people realize that golf is truly a mental game until they go out and try to play 2 rounds in a row and try to, they have a really great round and then in the garbage round. It can be one of the most mentally frustrating games in the world.
Yes, sir.
You're just saying, yeah, that's correct. So when you started playing, when did you start playing competitively?
So I competed in my first drop ship and putt when I was 5 years old at Brookwood and Byram. And I competed in my first statewide junior golf tournament at 8 years old, and that was at Columbus Country Club.
Really? How did you do?
I actually won the event. I won the Division E of MJGA.
Wow. So you, at that point, the bug had bitten and you knew that's what you wanted to do.
Yes, sir.
So when you went, where'd you start off at Jackson Academy, right? When you went to high school?
Yes, sir. I went to Jackson Academy from 5th grade through 9th. And then I moved to Atlanta, Georgia, and I went to the Mount Vernon School in Sandy Springs.
Yeah, Mount Vernon, that's a really good school. And you had some really good academic opportunities and were even able to participate in a global leadership summit in Switzerland as well. Talk a little bit about that, because I mean, obviously golf is a big part of what you do and a big part of your day, but you also have quite a bit of time that you use for studies as well.
Yes, sir. So I was actually an elected official for my high school. I was the unity prefect of Mount Vernon. And through that opportunity, I was able to work with a panel of student prefects that worked directly with the staff on campus, and the president sat in a few of our meetings. But we really were able to kind of help unify the school and create different activities like prom and homecoming for the kids throughout the school. And through that opportunity, I was selected by the teaching staff and the president of the university to represent Mount Vernon for the EF tour, which is now the Global Leadership Network, which is a junior program to where top students that are looking for leadership opportunities can apply for this program after being elected by their school, and then go overseas to participate. And it's not always a global leadership summit because that's such a high prestige and super elusive for even the top business leaders in the world. So I was kind of lucky enough to one, be elected, and then one, represent the United States as one of only 8 United States students from all over the country at the Global Leadership Summit in Davos, Switzerland.
That had to be an incredible amount of fun. Talk about those kind of experiences, though. I mean, did that kind of prepare you for, the travel and the rigor and just kind of knowing the world for traveling, doing golf tournaments?
I definitely think it helped kind of open my mind and helped me develop a global perspective. Because I mean, one thing you see in our state, unfortunately, is not a lot of people travel. Not a lot of people understand that there's a outside world and an outside perspective of not only business but also education and even sports. And so, traveling at an early age through my school really gave me the opportunity to meet a whole bunch of different people and interact with a whole different perspective of thought. And people have always said, man, like, you don't sound like a Mississippian. You don't sound like a Mississippian. And I'm like, well, I mean, the accent just kind of faded the more I traveled. Like, at this point, I've been to numerous countries to play golf and or for leadership events. And so the perspective that I've able to culminate through travel has definitely helped me prepare to not only sit in those caliber rooms, but also get my point across in those rooms. Like being heard is the step after actually doing the traveling.
Yeah, I can tell by, obviously getting a master's in public policy. That's definitely helps you be heard. That's for sure.
Yes, sir.
So when you're in high school and obviously you're playing on the high school team, I would imagine, and you were doing quite well. How does the recruitment process go for college golf? I mean, I'm pretty aware of how it works for football and baseball and some of the other sports, but I mean, does it work very similar? Did you have colleges from around the country calling and inquiring about you?
Yes, sir. So just like other sports like football and basketball, there is a national ranking system for juniors and amateurs and professionals. And so based off your rank, you get different opportunities to play in elite tournaments. And at those elite tournaments is really when the big time Division I coaches are there to really watch you and follow you hands on, which is a great opportunity for any junior golfer. But also outside of the rankings, just playing the circuits like MJGA, Mississippi Junior Golf Association, is a great circuit that I started off playing at 8, like I mentioned earlier. The U.S. Kids Golf Association is another great opportunity to really begin to build that resume. Because at the end of the day, like, I have a business resume and I have a golf resume equally. And they're equally as important for someone who's aspiring to be a golfer, but also has a strong academic background. And so definitely I recommend getting your name in the circuits like the Mississippi Junior Golf Association. When you graduate from there, the American Junior Golf Association or the AJGA, the Southeastern Junior Golf Tour, the SJGT, the Hurricane Junior Golf Tour. Those are all great ways to really earn your way up through the ranks. Like at my highest, I was ranked 104 in the world.
Wow.
on junior golf scoreboard.
Yeah.
Obviously, me, I had the opportunity to play in junior majors. Like I played in the Junior PGA Championship, which is ran by the PGA of America, which literally is the junior version of the PGA Championship. It's top 144 juniors in the world, and so I had different opportunities because I was ranked so high. But everybody can't be ranked in the top 140 in the world. And so I definitely recommend building that pedigree, building that resume. Like I started MJGA, and at age 11, I won 11 tournaments in a row. And so for me, I started getting national collegiate attention very young because I was accumulating a lot of wins and a lot of achievements.
You eventually, of course, you graduated. You went to Drexel. What caused you to go there? What was that you spent 1 year there and then you moved on to Florida A&M? But how did you make that choice?
So at the time, I was actually receiving offers for 3 different sports: football,
Oh,
baseball, and golf. I
yeah.
played 6 sports in high school. So I'm not the guy that only played golf my whole life and just happened to stick with it. I've always played golf, but my parents definitely made sure that I was able to have fun, like, and do other things, do anything that interested me is what my mom always said. And then my dad was kind of like, all right, by sophomore year, he wanted me to narrow it down to 3. And I happened to excel at all 3. Like I was the quarterback of the Mount Vernon football team. We were the first team to make it to the state tournament for football at Mount Vernon. And I also played baseball, and I also obviously played golf. And I was ranked number 1 in my class of at Mount Vernon for the state in golf as well. So I had a pretty unique experience, but I chose to go to Drexel over um, a lot of Ivy League schools because one, I wanted to focus on academics. I
Mhm.
come from a very strong academic family, and education has always come first. And so I knew Drexel would give me that education that uh, my family really supported. But also at the time, the team was kind of being built around me and a
Mhm.
couple other of my really good friends. And so that idea of really going there and have a team, really young team being built largely around myself and a couple other guys was, a, was something at the time that I thought was a great opportunity. And I got up there and we did exactly that. We were the number 14 recruiting class in the country when I was coming out of high school, and we won 3 times in my freshman year, which was it changed the whole program around, to say the least. But I mean, there was a lot of things there that were great, and there was a lot of things that just as an 18-year-old kid that I just longed for. And
Mhm.
for me, it was being able to really go to class for a few hours a day, obviously, but then playing golf all day was what I really wanted to do to get better. And so I ended up transferring to Florida A&M. It's called FAMU to a lot
Mhm.
of communities. Uh, and it gave me that opportunity to spend 7 hours on the golf course after class. Like I go to 2 or 3 classes a day and then literally play golf until it got dark every single day.
Wow.
And that was something that uh, I think a lot of my teammates there at the time, it wasn't really a winning spirit there when I got there. But I feel like I helped bring that. And then people saw me literally out there from 2 p.m. until 7 p.m. every day. And my teammates started to be like, all right, I'll spend an extra few hours on the golf course. And then by our senior year, we won the conference championship, first conference champion in Florida A&M history, first NCAA tournament um, um, team in school history. So we were able to kind of build that mentality and build that winning spirit and help kind of create that path for other universities now that are are really breaking the door down even more.
So let's talk about leadership for a minute, because obviously that is a topic that interests you, and along with your academics. And it sounds like, from what you're saying, the best way to be a leadership, whether it's on the field or on the court or on the course, is just to get out there and do the work.
Literally, golf is that type of game where Tiger always says it. He said, everything that you get in golf, you got to dig it out the dirt.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter who you are, where you come from, how much money you have. At the end of the day, we're all playing the same 18 holes 2, 3, 4, 5 times, how many every times. And it's about getting out there, digging it out of the dirt, earning every shot, earning every score, and the winner will obviously host the trophy at the end of the week. But it's always about putting in the work. Like today, I had a clinic for the local kids. Obviously, I'm here right now in this meeting, and then I'm going back to the course for the rest of the day. That's how champions are made in this sport. It's about putting in the work and executing.
Would you say that your parents helped you develop that mindset? Because it sounds like from a very early age that you were very focused, both academically and athletically as well.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
I come from a very strong house, and my dad is very successful, very educated, and my mother is always very strong and successful in her own right. And so that is something that I've always kind of aspired to be like. It's not just about doing it, it's about doing it twice. And it's not about just doing it twice, it's about doing it twice as nice.
Yeah.
And so that is just something that has just been passed down.
I'm a big fan of Tiger Woods also. I mean, I remember when he broke in from the college ranks and ended up, just soaring at the Masters and wowed everybody. But it sounds like that in a lot of ways that he's somebody that inspires you too, because of his mental capacity as much as what he's done out on the golf course. Obviously, he has been an African-American leader when it comes to breaking down doors in the game of golf, and opening it up for a lot of people and inspiring a lot of young kids to play as well. But here's a guy literally that had fusion back surgery and then got in a car wreck and was able to compete better than a lot of people at the Masters this year, when you know that he was in intense pain. Tell us a little bit what you have learned from Tiger Woods and his mental ability to be able to get out there and make a big difference out on a golf course.
I mean, it's extremely inspirational. I was actually at the Masters this year watching, and just seeing him hit shots the first couple days in the practice round and the first round, and just like, man, like he's back.
Yeah.
And in him after that second round, I noticed him kind of using the golf club to walk like a cane, and kind of making certain grimaces after hitting swings. I was like, man, like he's in pain, but he's doing it as almost as symbolically, as just almost like a phoenix, like rising, that no matter what you're going through, no matter your circumstances, it's about putting that step forward, like putting that first step forward, and then having the opportunity to really keep going. I mean, the thing that I've noticed about Tiger is he just always keeps going.
Yeah.
I mean, he was injured in a cast, and the videos of him hitting pitch shots in a cast. And it's like just things about, like, it's literally ongoing, it's nonstop. And it's something that has really inspired me. I mean, obviously I'm not Tiger Woods, and I don't want anybody to mistake me for Tiger, because he is on a pedestal for great reason.
Right.
But I never want people to underestimate the fact that I am doing what I'm doing, and I am making foot forward, putting my best foot forward, and becoming the first pathway player for Genesis this year was another great stride, not only for myself, but for all minority communities in America.
Yeah,
And so,
let's jump into the pathway real quick, because that is absolutely huge, and that was what made me stand up and give you a standing ovation for you being picked for that. Tell everybody what that is, because it is a heck of an honor.
So in 2022, the Genesis Invitational, which is sponsored by Genesis Automobile, and TGR, which is the Tiger Woods Foundation, came together to create the first of its kind collegiate pathway initiative, to where the top minority collegiate golfer, who is also in great academic standing, will receive an invitational into the Genesis Collegiate Showcase, which is historically a showcase for the top 20 collegiate amateur golfers in the world. And so this year, TGR, which is Tiger Woods, and the Genesis selected me as the inaugural pathway player.
Wow.
And so that selection, it solidified my kind of status for the year as the kind of the best in my field. And as a minority, I hate to kind of bracket myself in that aspect, but it gave me the podium to be able to say, yes, this year, right now, I am the best at what I'm doing for my criteria. And so through that, I was able to go and play at Riviera Country Club in the Collegiate Showcase, with an opportunity to play in the Genesis Invitational, which is one of the top 10 tournaments on the whole planet for professional golf. And so the opportunity was like none other. I started off birdie, birdie, birdie my first 3 holes. So I started off leading the tournament through the front 9. And mind you, now I am the lowest ranked player in the field at the time, where there's literally 7 out of the top 15 golfers in the whole world were in that same field.
Yeah.
And I was leading the tournament as the lowest ranked, only minority or only Black player in the field. They are literally in a mad manhunt trying to chase me down to take this title. And so that opportunity was absolutely incredible. I mean, not only being there, playing at Riviera, which is such a historic place, being honored by Tiger Woods and Genesis, having the opportunity to play in a PGA Tour caliber event. It was just all a culmination of so much hard work that I put in the previous years of college. And I was able to not only be there, but I was able to show that I got a little something in my bag.
Yeah, exactly. It wasn't a ceremonial thing for you to be there. You were there because you earned it and you've done the work.
Yes, sir.
That was awesome. I always loved it. I remember I was interviewing Lee Brown, who is from Jackson, and he worked with James Brown. And he was telling the story about how James Brown, as a kid, was hauled up on a stage, and then this was his opportunity, and he got it done, and literally became James Brown at that moment. And James Brown told Lee, said, "Look," he said, "when you get up on that stage, be ready and perform." And that's exactly what happened. And that's exactly what happened with you too. And congratulations. What all came with it? I mean, did you get to actually meet Tiger and talk to him out of the deal?
So even better than that. I mean,
Okay.
obviously meeting Tiger is a dream for anybody who plays golf, but I've actually been able to work hand in hand with TGR and Genesis to
Wow.
fund this summer, all summer in Atlanta, Georgia, at Chastain Park, North Fulton Golf Course. I'm sponsoring a junior golf clinic through At Par Golf, and it is completely partnered with myself and Tiger Woods. So obviously meeting Tiger is one thing, but having a junior golf clinic all summer, sponsored by his brand that's not even something that I even ever dreamt of.
What has been the greatest memory that you've had doing that? Obviously, being able to give back to kids is obviously something that you enjoy. Just looking over your resume, that's just something you have done your whole career, is turned around and give back. But what was probably one of the most special moments?
Um, that's tough. I mean, the whole opportunity has been special. I would probably say after my round one, I made a 5-footer on 18 for par, which was huge. But then after my round, I was interviewed by a guy from Northwestern University, their school of journalism. He told me that they heard about the pathway and that I was going to be the pathway player, and they all put together like a fund, like a GoFundMe to have 15 of the Northwestern University School of Journalism kids come and watch me at the tournament play, and then also interview me after the tournament.
Yeah.
So just random people that I've literally never met had a GoFundMe page just so they could get there to watch me and give me an interview after the tournament. College kids now. And I thought that was extremely special. I mean, Northwestern is one of the most prestigious schools in America.
Yeah.
And to have no ties with them at the time and then have that happen was extremely special to me.
Yeah, to have somebody recognize your talent and respect it and come down and want to help showcase it. That's pretty amazing as well. Yeah, you touched on that, Tiger, at the Masters. My son was there and he was on the 18th when Tiger came off the 18th, and he said you could tell he was in pain and he could barely walk, but he had his head held high and he came across there. When you're meeting these professionals and you're talking to all the professionals, it's like a different level when you meet somebody that it's at that level of their game. What have you learned from being able to be around talented professional golfers?
That's a great question. I've actually been able to meet many PJ Tour touring golfers right now, and along the lines of Harold Varner, Cameron Champ, Joseph Bramlett, Eric Compton. Those are all guys that I have been able to sit down with. And I would definitely say they've all kind of said something similar. It's about never giving up. Mr. Lee Elder, the late Mr. Lee Elder, told me to never give up is what he told me in our conversation only a few weeks before he ended up passing. Which was
you got to talk to Lee Elder. That is very cool.
Sir.
Yeah, he's talking about the ultimate trailblazer.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that
was super special to me. But the younger guys have also kind of mentioned the same thing. Like it's not a game where anything happens overnight.
Yeah.
But if it does happen overnight, it's about when you get that opportunity to shine, it's about making sure that people remember your name. Like I got my opportunity at Riviera this year, and I sat at the top of the leaderboard because I knew I wasn't going to let that opportunity just go by me without making a name for myself. And so I would definitely say never giving up, staying as focused as you can, and then also get like I do myself. Like when you get to that status, I'm not even to the status of those guys yet. But when you get to any status, making sure that the door stays open for the next generation, because at the end of the day, your legacy will be built upon the generation that's after you. That's what a legacy means.
Yeah.
And so at the end of the day, if you have nobody looking up to you or nobody coming behind you, then you have no legacy.
That's so strong. That is so incredibly strong. Bucket list courses that you'd like to play on?
Well, I mean, St. Andrews is definitely one of them.
But I hear that one may be crossed off pretty soon.
Yes, sir. But also Augusta National.
Yeah.
And Pebble Beach will probably be my top three.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about St. Andrews, because you're going to get to play on it pretty soon.
Yes, sir. So I am playing in the 2022 Boyd Quaish Memorial Championship. which is essentially like the collegiate Scottish national championship.
Nice.
It's literally, the tournament has been going on for over 50 years. I think it's around 70 years actually. And it's the top European golfers and a handful of Americans every year for the last around 70 years. And so being able to represent the College of William and Mary as the top guy after this past season is super exciting to me. And we're playing at the old course at St. Andrews the week after the British Open. So there's literally at the pinnacle of golf on the planet is the old course at St. Andrews. And to play it in its most pristine condition the week after the British Open is another opportunity that is just incredible.
So when you're sitting out and you're getting that kind of opportunity, at the end of the day, you're still focused on playing a really good round of golf, but you still have to look around going, I can't believe this is happening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm definitely going to make sure that I get my practice rounds in
to
kind of soak everything up. So I'm as focused as I can be for the tournament. But yeah, I mean, I've just been scrolling through photos of the course, like, man, like this is absolutely the greatest game.
Yeah, I was going to ask you that. How do you prepare to play a course that you've never played before and that you can probably not just go hop on and do a few? I mean, I know you'll have some practice rounds before the thing, but how do you mentally prepare? Because I know a lot of golfers that I talk to that are hackers, of course, compared to what you play, but they visually play in their mind. They play the course before they get out there. Is that kind of the way you prepare?
Definitely. I mean, looking at sky views, like there's some softwares where you can get the sky view of the course, like a scouting report.
Yeah.
Then also, I mean, just like everyone else, like just watching the British Open.
Yeah.
Like if I see on hole number one, everybody's doing something that's not great, then I'm going to write that in my notebook. So when I get there, I'll survey and make sure that I take advantage of just being able to watch the course. I mean, that's the best part about playing there the week after the tournament is literally I'm watching the best players play it the week before.
Yeah, a lot of people talk about the 20,000 hours to become a professional, but at the end of the day, it's not about practice. It's about deliberate practice. It's knowing. So when you go out, like when you're about to head out on the course, you have a schedule of things that you're going to work on and you're just going to go play, right? I mean, there is a purpose behind when you get out and practice, right?
Most definitely. I mean, every day I'm working on something.
Yeah.
And some days, obviously, I don't want to work on only one thing every time I go out. So for me, it's very regimented, and I have a strong routine that obviously my routine is strong now, but I know it'll even get stronger as I get ready to turn professional.
Yeah.
But yeah, just making sure that every day I'm getting better. If you can get 1% better every day, then that's really, really strong.
You have a real financial background. So yeah, I'll take 1% compounded daily. That's a pretty good.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that'll make you rich pretty quickly, one way or the other on that. You mentioned going pro. You'll graduate in 2013. I mean 2023. Excuse me, as I forget what year I live in. But the point is, you're going to graduate. Are you going to plan on turning pro after you graduate with your master's?
Yes, sir. So my number one ambition, obviously, is finishing my master's degree, and then after that, I already have a few companies lined up that want to represent me, God willing. But definitely, professional golf is the ultimate goal of mine. Finishing, not just playing professionally, but playing professionally at the highest level.
Right.
I'll make that clear because there is a lot of professionals out there, but there's not a lot of professionals that make it to the highest level.
Right. Right. And I think a lot of people don't. I mean, to me, the business of golf, it's like the business of art, which I find, I mean, that's what I do. But I mean, I find the business of golf to be fascinating that, there are expenses if you've got to get around to different tournaments, you have sponsors, you have people that help you pay your way. And then, of course, you hope to be able to be in the money. You don't hope to do that. You hope to be at the top of the leaderboard every single week and have that focus on that. But it sounds like that you have prepared yourself well, both, athletically and mentally and financially to be able to pull this off. So, I mean, I wish you well, and I think you're going to be able to do it.
Thank you.
Let me ask you a few hard questions here real quick. What's harder for you, long game or short game?
So if you ask anybody who's ever played with me, they would say that I'm pretty strong throughout the bag. But
Yeah,
I would definitely say putting is where the money is at the end of the day. So
yeah.
if that's where the money is, that automatically should be where the most focus is.
So it's like you're out there practicing doing threes all day, just to make sure that when you get a championship, you can hit the long shot. So the putter is the one you put probably as much focus on as anything is putting.
Yes, sir.
Okay. What club drives you crazy?
I would probably say if there was anything, like I said, I like to be pretty strong throughout the bag, but my driver, the driver is it's beautiful. It's 300 plus in the fairway, but I'm just the guy that I'm never super far off the fairway, but
Yeah.
some days I'll just be 5 yards off the fairway. And so, I mean, a lot of courses that's fine, but me, I'm a guy who I keep up with my fairways and my greens and my putts and things like that. So if I have a day where I don't hit as many fairways, it's normally because I was 5 yards off.
Yeah.
And for me, I'm such a perfectionist that 5 yards off in the rough it drives me nuts.
What what's your favorite golf course that you've played on?
My favorite so far would probably be Riviera,
Yeah.
just because it's so different than anything that I had played on so far. Because all the way down to the type of grass it was just completely different. But definitely Riviera. But I've played a lot of very prestigious courses. I also really enjoyed Eastlake. I won the Eastlake Junior when I was in high school as
Oh
well.
wow. Yeah. So and then and of course, your home course. I saw a video of you getting to play Tiger Woods' home course, the Navy course out
Mhm.
when they played growing up. That had to be pretty cool, didn't it?
Oh, that was another course that, I mean, the list is incredible from where I've played so far. But
Yeah.
yeah, Navy, just that type of history. Tiger Woods literally growing up and learning the game and literally living like down the street from the golf course. And so just being on those grounds, those are literally sacred grounds for
Yeah.
golf.
Yeah. Trying to think the hardest course you've ever played.
Probably Trump National Doral Blue Monster Golf
Really?
Course.
Okay.
I played it the year that they redesigned it. So
Yeah.
the year that Trump bought it and redesigned it, I played it, and there was no rough out there. Everything was shaved and there was water on 16 out of 18 holes, and there was no rough. So if you missed the fairway, everything was shaved down into the water.
Ooh. Yeah.
So definitely, and there was a 30-mile-per-hour wind because it's
Oh,
South Florida on the
yeah.
water. So that course was definitely a lot of fun. I played in the Doral Publix World Championship there.
Any final thoughts that I haven't covered? Because I mean, like I said, I am really excited for what you're going to get to go do in Scotland. That's going to be a lot of fun. And now that I'm going to start following your career really closely because I can't wait to see where you go with it.
Yes, sir. Again, I would just like to thank yourself for having me.
Sure.
Thank Mississippi for listening, and we really are looking for the next great talent from Mississippi. I mean, we've had a few guys so far, but not enough.
Yeah.
And so I highly recommend just getting out there. And if you've never played golf before, going out and hitting a couple putts or hitting a bag of balls, just give it a chance. Because I mean, it's a game that opens up so many different opportunities, not only in business, but also pleasure. I mean, it's a game that a lot of people fall in love.
I know my son is figuring that out, and he got to go with a friend whose dad is a member at Augusta National, anyway, he's sitting there eating in the clubhouse lunch, and he's sitting there with the CFO from UPS, getting to talk to him. He said, "Dad, golf, everybody, it's how you get to meet everybody." I said, "Yeah." He said, "I got to learn how to play." I said, "Well, don't let me teach you, but we'll go play, because I mean, I don't want you picking up any of my habits." But like I said, I'm incredibly thrilled for you and your success, and congratulations for representing both Mississippi and, of course, William and Mary, with just absolutely doing such a great job with your career. And is there a way for folks to follow you on social media?
Yes. So I'm not a huge social media guy, but definitely I have an Instagram. It is Air Ethan, literally at AIRETHAN.
Mm-hmm.
And that's really the only social media imprint that I have. I like
You mean
to
you
kind
spend all your time practicing and getting better
of
instead of
I spend all of my time reading.
yeah.
Reading is a major key. But definitely Instagram, feel free to follow me. I love to have you follow my journey.
That'll be great. Let me finish up real quick with thanks to the University of Mississippi Medical Center for sponsoring today's show, the state's only academic medical center. Its education, research, and health care missions are shared. The objectives of improving the health and state's population as well. You can find out a little bit more about them at www.umc.edu. Ethan, man, thank you. This has been great. I really enjoyed getting to know you.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Thank you for watching this episode of Mississippi Stories. Make sure to subscribe to the Mississippi Today YouTube channel and click the bell to be notified every time a new video uploads.